Hello, Daniel Thomas Andrew Daly here. This is a Noahide sermon, Virtues, Consideration. Virtues, Consideration. Smell the smoke. Now, we're not always, are we, considerate? I think over the many years of my... I turned 46 today. Today's... Just wait. It's still before midnight, I think. Let's check the clock. Yeah, it's 11 in the evening. I'm still 40... I turned 46 today. This is my 46th birthday. And, in all those 46 years, for most of them, I've lived at home, in my parents' house. Not all of them. I've been out on my own a few times in the group houses. For most of them, I've lived at my home, and for most of them, I've lived with my mother, Mary. My dad died in 2007, Cyril. But my mother, Mary, I've lived with her most of my life now. And I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit messy, I'm a bit of a slob, and I don't always clean up after myself. And when it comes to the housework, I don't do terribly much of it. I take out the garbage sort of probably every 3 weeks, probably I do enough of the garbage work. I should be doing it every week. I do a bit of things, but I don't do quite enough. I take out the garbage a bit, and I collect the mail most days, and I help her move things occasionally throughout the year when she wants something moved. But I don't do very much else in the house. I don't do any of the washing up or any of the washing. Mum does the cooking in the evening, because generally that's what she does, and I don't think she really worries about that. But Mum does the washing up of the dishes and does the washing of the clothes. So I don't do a huge amount because I'm usually busy with my own thing. But, I'll be the first to admit, it's not very considerate, is it? And perhaps I shouldn't really be preaching on this, because, hypocrisy is when you say one thing and you do another. And, but at least I'll admit that. I will admit that while I preach to you that we need to be considerate, I know that I need to be considerate. Now, consideration is a virtue. It's mindfulness, I suppose, having an awareness that the world doesn't revolve just around you. It's that God didn't make you the supreme being over the world. He made you, but he's made, at this stage of the world, well, throughout history we've had about, 12, 13, 14 billion people. There's a good half, a good 5 or 6 billion have gone to the grave. And there's something like that, I would reckon, I would imagine. And there's about 7.5 billion currently with us. So maybe more or less than that, but maybe about 12 billion people he's made all up. So the world does, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know for sure. But the world does not revolve just around you. There's a whole stack of other people in the world. But even though you won't interact with them all, you have a place in the world, usually in a home, if you're that fortunate, and with a family or friends and things. And what I need to remember, and what generally we as Noahides and people should remember, is that there are other people and we should think about their concerns in life, and their desires, and their hopes, and their dreams and aspirations, and their sense of household decorum. What's right for the neatness of the home and for the general conversation of the home. So being considerate is keeping in mind that you live with other people in this world. It doesn't revolve around you, and you can't be a law unto yourself. You have to consider others and do the right things and keep it clean in more ways than one. Keep it clean and have a bit of concern for the fact that you have family which you should love. We have friends which you should care about. And you should have some respect for your elders and respect for administrators in the world and doctors and lawyers and professionals who try to take care of you. Have some consideration for what they're trying to achieve in life, especially those who are trying to help you. Very good idea to be considerate towards those We're trying to help you in life. Now, we're not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. I'm not the best example. I have a bit of consideration in me. I ring up a family member, a brother or a sister, occasionally for a few times throughout the year. I do call them up and email them and stuff like that. And I phone a few friends a bit. And I do talk to my mother every day. I do say a lot of kind words to her. We argue, of course. We're only human. I'm only human. But I have an okay level of consideration. But I certainly can do better, and I don't doubt that many of you could too. Consideration is a virtue. It's something which is highly prized and something to be esteemed, something we should desire within ourselves and seek to better within ourselves, have a greater concern for being considerate towards people, thinking about the feelings and the emotions and the just general sense of well-being that other people want in life, and not doing things which hurt that terribly much, not harming our neighbour, but having concern and consideration towards our neighbour. It's one of the best qualities, one of the best virtues in the end is consideration. Because a considerate person is obviously going to be a valued, a cherished and appreciated person in this world. You're going to give a damn about a person if they're considerate towards you, if they take you into consideration and keep you in mind when they do their things in life. It's definitely a virtue I need to work on. And I think other people definitely probably need to, because the world's full of all sorts of people who are not terribly considerate. Consideration, a virtue, a good idea.